Send your requests and dedications to radio@keysdan.com.
Radio what?
The music you want. The music you want.
What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, you go to DJLittleRock.com. That's my website. You can check availability and get a free price quote right there. And maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to do the events. You know, I like to entertain the people. All kinds of events, weddings and parties and birthdays. Oh, yeah. And cosplays, Comic-Cons. Yes, I like those too. I got to meet up with the guests that I have on today, Perot and Clover, Cosplay. And I met up with them over at the at the CosCon that was held in the Little Rock Holiday Inn, and I'm looking forward to talking to them in just a few minutes. My shows this week, Thursday, I'll be at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas from 6 to 9 for the every other Thursday family-friendly karaoke and video dance party. Looking forward to that. Enjoy the good food, and there's some alcoholic beverages there for the over 21s, you know, in case the moms and dads want to have a couple suds, you know, while the kids are singing. I keep it family friendly. I keep the music family friendly. So yes, come on out to the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas from 6 till 9. Yeah. Good food, good fun, good peoples. And then on Friday night, I'm at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. That's my regular Friday show. Almost every Friday, I'm there at the Rab. It used to be the old Conway Supper Club, and then it was revamped and turned into the Rab. It's got the full bar. Now, this one is an adults-only show, over 21. Full bar. The kitchen is open. They have 10 diamond class pool tables, which is fancy. And they have a pool tournament on Friday nights, so you don't want to miss out on that. Get involved with the pool tournament. You might make some money while you're hanging out on a Friday night at the Rab. And then on the party patio, they have shuffleboard, foosball, giant Jenga game. Yeah, always so much fun while you're waiting to sing with little old me. I have the dance floor open, and the karaoke is a-flowing. You are the stars of the show at the Rab on Friday night. That starts at 8 p.m. and it goes almost till 2 in the a.m. All right, party people. Well, let's get into it with Perot Clover Cosplay. Pierrot Clover Cosplay. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I'll ask them when we get on. All right. Well, without further ado, let's call Perot Clover Cosplay now. Perriot and Clover Cosplay, please.
That's both us.
Fantastic. How's your day?
Great. How's yours?
Hot, but good. All right, Perriot and Clover Cosplay. We got it all together. It's the What Makes You Famous podcast. And give the people a little bio of who you are.
Would you like to go first, Clover?
All right. I'm Clover, and I basically am just very new to cosplay. Both of us are, but we're really enjoying it and decided to make a page and have some plans for the future.
Fantastic. So you are Clover. That is the boy, and then Perriot would be the girl.
Yes, that's me.
Okay. Give the people a little bio about you, Miss Perriot.
I am also new to cosplay. We're both friends. We decided to go to a con, and it was super fun. So we're now making it a hobby. And
Uh-oh. I think you cut off a little bit. Oh, there you are. You're back.
hello.
Now, am I pronouncing it properly? Could you pronounce it for me?
It's pronounced Pierrot. Is the proper pronunciation. I used to say Perriot too.
So, Perot
Yes.
and Clover.
Hmm.
Well, you're very
Yeah.
nice not to correct me, but you should always correct people when they get your name wrong.
It's fine. I did the same thing.
Okay, so where did are the names your God-given names, or did your parents give them to you, or is this names that you've chosen for yourselves? We'll go with Clover first.
It's mine is a name given or not given to me, but chose for ourselves because we were at the con. They talked about how you shouldn't really give away too much of personal information because there is a lot of strange people out there. So we decided, come up with these names.
Okay, so how did Clover come about then?
Well, I've kind of been known for being lucky, I guess, and which actually nowadays it's kind of ironic because I'm not very lucky at all anymore. But I always thought of the 4-leaf clover, so I kind of just stuck with that.
Well, it seems like you got lucky. You have Pierrot as a friend. That sounds pretty lucky.
I know, right?
So how did Pierrot come about?
Well, I've always been into Pierrots. I have a lot of little Pierrot dolls, they're really cute. And I'm like, since we're putting makeup on and we're dressing up, I feel like Pierrot fits.
What is a Pierrot?
Well, it's kind of a French clown. Is the best way I can describe it. Not a mime exactly, but it's from a certain skit that's from a Harlequin and a Pierrot. And Pierrots don't get that much love, so I'm like, I'm gonna do Pierrot.
I just looked up a Pierrot Clown.
Yes.
Well, clowns could be scary, and this could be in some respect, but I'm looking at it. It's black and white with the clown hat that looks like a traffic cone, but also white with the black little pom-poms on there. Is that something that you've cosplayed before, Pierrot?
I've definitely thought about it. That's kind of on the list.
Okay. But do you find yourself being a clown or a French type of clown?
Mentally, yes.
It's in there somewhere, in the psyche.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. Are you both in high school or out of high school, or I don't even know how old you are?
We're both in high school still.
Fantastic. Okay. And then from what area are you in the country here?
We're in Arkansas. We're in the Sheridan area.
Fantastic. So what con was it that you met up at and decided to do cosplay?
CosCon. I don't exactly remember what vicinity that was in, but
Was that the first CosCon, or was that the one at the Holiday Inn just recently?
The one just recently at the Holiday Inn.
the Holiday Inn.
So that was your first con?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was super fun.
Yeah, and it was a big jump from the con previous. The CosCon was primarily just the prom part of it, which was the after party. Last year, it was held at a park in their building. I guess their rec building at a park maybe in Benton, if I'm not mistaken. And then this year, Miss Higgins decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and make a real con out of it. And she invited a bunch of people and booths, and then it switched over and became the prom at the end. And I was very, very fortunate to be the DJ. Now, did you start very early in the morning and start with the con? Clover, I guess we'll go with Clover. And I guess if you were both together, am I on a party line? Is that what's happening?
No, we're both in the car together.
Oh, super. Well, it sounds perfect. So, Clover, I guess you both traveled there together? No, wait, you just met there, right?
No, we've been friends for a long time, and we
Oh.
decided to go together.
That's so nice. So, do you go to school together?
Yes.
Fantastic. And since you're both in school, I'm not going to ask you too much details about who you are and such like that. Protect the children. It's
Yeah.
No, but it's nice that you're talking to me, and this is the What Makes You Famous podcast. I found you very interesting, and it looked like you were pretty cool cosplayers. And I hope your parents are cool with this. Did you talk to them?
Oh yeah, we did. I'm 18, so it's fine with me, and he's talked to his parents about it.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, if we have any problems down the line, hey, we'll figure that out. So
No, you're fine.
so Pierrot and Clover. Now, you went to the CosCon. What time did you get there?
We were really early because we were helping one of the vendors.
Oh, okay. What type of
then-
vending?
We were in the Rodan Fields department.
And what is that?
It's a type of makeup, or not makeup. It's more like beauty, self-care, and things like that.
Oh, I like that. Okay. And that was another thing that I did speak to Christine Higgins, the one who developed the con into what it is, and she said that we were inviting people that may not be directly involved with cosplay or even comic books for that matter, or even, artists or actors in any kind of pictures. They said, why don't we invite makeup artists or makeup vendors, because that's a big part of cosplay. Is that what you found when you were in the Rodan booth, that it fit pretty perfectly?
It fit better than we thought originally.
That's what I thought as well. And when I spoke to her, I was thinking, well, yeah. And you hear about this box, and you're supposed to go outside the box and all that. And I think that's pretty well outside the box. I like that. I liked it a lot.
It is for sure, and it was really, really fun. It was really kind of work of fate for us. we felt very at home. We're both very much nerds, and we had never gone to a con before. And so this was kind of a perfect opportunity to get involved with the community.
Yes. Okay. So when you got there and you first got there, I guess you helped to set up the booth as well. Were other people setting up, and did you get to know your neighbors, and what were they doing?
Yes. I met one of the people helping in the other booths, and she was amazing. She was dressed up as a female Klaus. We were helping with the booths, but the lady that was monitoring us was very kind to let us go and explore the con. And then we actually went to Miss Higgins' cosplay closet, and that's when we actually put on cosplay for the first time.
Oh, so you went as yourselves, and then
we came out as different people.
So what kind of cosplay did you get involved in?
Well, I was Harley Quinn my first time, and then he was Joker.
Yeah, conveniently we found the stuff.
Yes, and we had some awesome older cosplayers helping us with it out. That con was great for us because there were so many beautiful people there to help us out for the first time that we were doing this and help us get out of our comfort zone.
I like that. I like that a lot, and I like the idea that she had a closet that was full of props and different pieces that people could put together if they were so inclined to do so. So, were you the only people in this closet that found the items, or were there other people involved as well?
There were plenty of people that went to that closet, and they started to dress up. They began to. It was really fun to watch people kind of go out on their own with it, and I could see a lot of people were also kind of new to it because there were a lot of people that were kind of unsure that weren't really involved with the cosplay community there, and so yeah, it was really fun. It was really, really fun.
I thought that was a great idea. So,
it really was.
What made you choose Joker, Mr. Clover?
Convenience. Mostly. actually, I'd went through it and I'd found something that looked very steampunk-ish, and somebody had mentioned to me the idea of Joker, and I found this makeup artist there. I'm afraid I don't remember her name, but I asked if she could possibly, do something Joker-like, copying the Heath Ledger style, and she did a wonderful job. It looked incredible.
Yes, I'm looking at your Instagram pictures, and it did look rather amazing. And I see pictures of I really don't see any pictures of you out of the makeup, which is great. That means I can go ahead and put the Instagram address on your show notes and let people know about your page. And both of you looked amazing. This is your first cosplay, and right out of the box, you looked so happy in your Harley Quinn outfit, and Joker. You looked sinister. Just amazing. Amazing.
What I was going for.
Oh, for sure. And I remember seeing the female Klaus. The first time I saw her was in the hallway in the Holiday Inn. And for the people that are listening, the Holiday Inn, the whole floor of the airport, Little Rock Airport Holiday Inn, was covered with the con, and many of the rooms were being utilized as well for different things. Well, I saw the female Klaus in the hallway between the main foyer and then off to the back room where the prom was, and I said, "Oh, hello," and she put up her hand that said goodbye, and there you are. You have a picture with the female Klaus saying goodbye.
I know, she's so cool. I can never get to that level.
Okay, so all right, we're still talking about this con, and I have Perot and Clover, the cosplayers, Perot Clover Cosplay. There's a lot of underscores in there, and I'll definitely put that on the show notes so people know how to get a hold of you. And so now that you're in the cosplay, have you been to any other cons after the CosCon?
We went to just recently. We went to Little Rock Comic Con.
Oh, that's a big one, isn't it?
Cosplay.
Yes, but we unfortunately weren't able to cosplay because many of our items were not in, and weren't made properly, and so we're really digging in right now to hopefully be able to do a proper cosplay for SpotCon.
So you're looking to do this for a while, or is this becoming a hobby of yours, or something of a love? What do you like about cosplay? Clover, I guess, first.
Well, we most definitely love it, and honestly, it's strange because people feel like more real in that whenever they're in cosplay and like themselves than they do out in the real world.
I realize, okay, on your Instagram it says, "We are Perot and Clover, two geeky friends that decided to start cosplaying together. I hope you enjoy our many cosplay adventures." And I certainly do hope that you have many cosplay adventures. And you touched upon it, that you feel differently when you get into cosplay. How do you feel, Perot, when you get into cosplay?
I feel very comfortable. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be very shy and even more like timid than I usually am. But I felt very comfortable, and I felt like having fun. It was, it very much is helping me with the anxiety that I have, especially like social anxiety and things like that. I've noticed a big difference, especially in my confidence when I'm in cosplay.
Now, I notice when cosplayers get into cosplay and they do go out into public, in particular when they go to an event that is made for cosplayers, the people will look at you differently, and sometimes they want to come up to you and hug you and take a picture with you. Did you have any of that? Let's go with Clover first.
I didn't have as much as she did, but just a few.
And then Perot?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a different feel for sure. But it was super cool because people just come, again, like you said, people just come up and want to take pictures and want to say hi. and it makes you feel real nice. It makes you feel good.
I suspect. You know, when I don't do cosplay as a character, I think I have. Over the years, I've been told it's an original character, and it's something that I developed. It's Dr. What. My radio station is radiowhat.com. My podcast is What Makes You Famous. So really, it's not so much a question as a statement. It's Radio What making you a little bit more famous than you are. Unless you already are famous, and then you could tell people, hey, what makes you famous? But this is a question or a statement that you could take either way. And what are your thoughts? Well, let's go with Perot this time first. What are your thoughts on if you're famous or what makes you famous?
I think what you're doing is amazing, and I think that your original character is amazing. I've been stalking your Instagram.
Well, for the most part, I do a lot of DJ stuff on my Instagram, and I appreciate the word stalking. It's a very accurate word.
I mean, yeah, I'll put it to you straight, you know. But you do amazing work. You have so much fun doing it.
I appreciate that, and you know, I do have a blast. And I'm looking now. The first picture that you have posted up on your Instagram, it really, I like it. I like the feel of it. Okay, the Joker and Harley have had such a tumultuous relationship. A lot of people aspire to be like them. Question mark. I kind of am leery of that. What do you think of the Joker and Harley's relationship?
It's abusive. It's terrible. It's so interesting to watch.
Yeah, don't try to label your relationship like I'm Harley Quinn and this is my Joker. Like that's no.
He beats you.
Yeah, and then she beats you, and it's just not healthy. But you know, it's fun to emulate in a safe way with cosplay and things like that. As long as no one's getting harmed, and you know, things are just you're just having fun with like the comic book material and things like that. It's nothing big, but a lot of people, especially like in our school,
yeah,
try to emulate it in a way. And I mean, like, you know, just keep it safe.
Yeah, you know, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head, and something that I've thought up as well. Suicide Squad. You know, a lot of parents think, "Ooh, that is a little too much for my child to watch." And yes, maybe a very young child you may not want to expose them to that, but a teen, an older teen to in the 20-somethings. Okay, if I watch violence on a screen, that is my outlet. I don't have to actually do the violence. So
exactly.
If I am getting that outlet, playing a video game, going and cosplaying as this person, I don't have to do these things IRL. What are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly right.
For sure. It's you know, it's fun to play things like cosplay and you know, take things out in comic books, writing, things like that, like creative outlets. It's fine.
Yeah.
But to do it in real life and hurt people, that's like not the way to go. Just take it out in a creative way. Just, you know, spread your wings creatively. I don't know. Just don't hurt people.
Yes, don't hurt people. That's good. Okay, so you were thinking about cosplaying at the Little Rock Comic Con, and that was just recent. I'm so sad that I couldn't go. I had too many events of my own this weekend, and I'm not mad about that. I really enjoy doing the parties. But I saw so many pictures, so many good things going over there. You didn't have your cosplay ready. What cosplay were you thinking about doing at the Little Rock Comic Con?
Well, I was thinking about female Damian Wayne.
Oh.
And because the voice of Deku was there, I was thinking of doing a villain Deku from My Hero Academia.
Yes. Okay. Now I have played a game that featured Deku, And I know who Damian Wayne is. That's the son of Bruce Wayne and was it Talia al Ghul or
Yes.
Yeah, she was the Ra's al Ghul of the League, and then she disbanded the League. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a big mess,
Right.
but I love it. It's like a big soap opera, but with superheroes.
So how does Damian? How do you relate to Damian Wayne as opposed to any of the other Robins?
Oh, when I watched it for the first time, it was Son of the Bat.
Yes.
I was looking at, and I don't know. He was just a real angsty boy, and I related because I was a very angsty girl.
Agreed. Okay. Yeah, I do like his.
Yeah.
I like his Robin. He's no nonsense, and really, gets right to the point as opposed to Dick Grayson or even, oh my goodness, totally fired on who the one who turned into the Red Hood.
Oh, Jason Todd.
Jason Todd.
That's one that I hope to cosplay someday.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, you mentioned Deku from My Hero Academia, and I'm just now getting into it. I have a 13-year-old daughter she's learning Japanese, and she's even trying to watch the dubs. No, not the dubs, the subs rather than the dubs, and I'm learning a little bit about My Hero Academia. What is it? 80% of the people are superheroes, and they have some kind of a quirk. What is Deku's quirk?
Well, Deku is born without a quirk, actually.
Ooh.
But he is gifted one from the greatest hero in that world, All Might.
Okay, I played a video game where you can choose your characters, and I think the first character that I chose, and it's your typical fighting game, kind of like Capcom versus Marvel or any of the other ones. And what is it?
I believe it's the Shonen Jump anime game that you're referring to.
I think so, and I think the first character that I played was All Might because he's a big dude, and I'm learning as I play all these games, usually the smaller people are the ones they give the most power to. The speed.
Yeah.
Yes. The girls seem to kick the booty a little more than the big, brooding, muscular men in these games. So All Might is able to give quirks to people that do not have quirks. Is that right?
He's able to give his, and that's about it. He had never done it before, and he was getting older, and it was time for him to retire, so he decided that he needed to find a successor.
Oh, so what is the quirk that he gave Deku?
It's called One for All. As of right now, it's basically a strength-enhancing quirk, but it has some hidden secrets that we're yet to see.
Ah, are you watching My Hero Academia?
I am. I'm actually reading the manga.
And reading the manga. Excellent. I'm listening to a podcast, and I'll give them a shout-out. It's the Southern Fried Geekery, and they were also at the con. At least Sean was there. Have you ever listened to this?
Them.
Yes, we saw them.
Yes. Now, I know that Sean is really into manga, and Jerry on the show is also into manga. Now, the other two is 4 guys, sometimes 5 guys, that sit around a table on Sunday morning, and they talk comic books. Well, the other 2 guys or 3 guys do not like manga. So whenever Jerry and Sean get a chance, they sneak it in as their comic book of choice or their talk of the week or what have you. So, yes. This is how I'm catching up on my manga and my comic books. Now, do you read comic books as well?
I do. Unfortunately, though, I'm going to have to go and leave you with Perriot.
Oh, where you going? Where you going, Clover?
I have to head back and get some gas. Unfortunately, I got to drop her off.
Teenage chores, basically.
Oh, how sweet. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, take care of your mom and dad and your family, what have you. And I guess thank you, Mr. Clover, for sharing your insights on cosplay and Comic-Cons.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
bye, Clover.
Bye.
So sad.
All right, well, it's us. Hi.
Yay! And I still have Perot on the What Makes You
Yes.
Famous podcast. So Perot and Clover, the cosplayers. And so what's on the horizon? What's next for Perot and Clover?
Well, we're doing the female Damian Wayne, and I'm talking him into a Nightwing, maybe. Secret, you know.
Wait, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You're just being
totally.
recorded, and maybe millions of people can listen. Who knows?
Just tell everyone. It's no. But
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a secret. We were teasing it on our Instagram.
Cool.
We definitely are looking forward to doing that, or me mainly, because I really want to do Damian Wayne.
Yeah,
And
I see that.
know, yes, and he definitely wants to do an evil Deku, which will be really fun.
Now, what's the difference between what's an evil Deku, or is Deku evil?
It's basically a fan AU or alternate universe where they've made Deku becomes a villain instead of a hero, so he becomes an ultimate villain. Usually it's when All Might doesn't give him his powers and shames him for not having a quirk. He goes into crazy villain mode. I don't know much about it, but
Now, is this fan fiction, or is this part of the manga?
it's more fan fiction, I guess, like an alternate universe type deal, fan made thing.
Now, how big into the Geekiverse do you get? What other things are you into, Miss Peru?
Well, I'm getting into a lot. I'm starting to read comics more. I am into manga. I like horror manga. That's kind of like my junkie thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love anime. I've loved anime since I was 13.
What was your first anime? What did you like?
My first anime was a little like shoujo one called Fruits Basket.
Never heard of it. But, I'm old. I'm 50. And here I am. I'm talking to a younger person that's giving me insight, giving me gems, keeping me in touch with the younger folks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll give you all the insight.
I appreciate that. And yes, I have been looking at your Instagram. You've been updating it, here and there. And I'm sure you're going to update it more as your cosplay and as you go into other things. Now, have you gotten involved with a lot of the people that are in the CosCon? They also are involved in the Heroes and Angels cosplay, and there are many other opportunities to go even to hospitals and other places that you can have outlets for your cosplay. You don't even have to simply wait for cons. There's other places that you can go to get in costume and really give the kids joy. Is one thing that you can do. What other avenues you think that you want to explore with your cosplaying?
Well, that sounds very interesting. I would definitely be interested in doing that. That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Definitely that. We were thinking about. I don't know. We were thinking more doing it like in more casual events.
I like that. You just show up to the grocery store dressed like like a female Damian Wayne. That'll get people looking.
I mean, yeah, and like it helps with confidence for sure. Like,
for sure, nobody's going to mess with you.
No,
because they don't know if you have throwing stars.
Yeah, But we're both kind of just really shy and things like that. So doing something like that would really help us get out of our shell and, be like, I don't care. It's fine.
I like that. Now, do the kids at school know about your cosplaying or what you're into?
A few.
Yeah? Do you have your certain group of friends that are...
our group of nerds. Yes.
Good. Are they getting into it as well, or are some of them into it as well?
Yes. We have friends that are into cosplay. One went as Joker from Persona in Little Rock CosCon.
What's Persona?
Persona is a video game.
Ooh.
Yeah. It looks really fun. I definitely want to play it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yes.
So Persona is a video game. Do you play video games as well?
I'm getting back into video games. Yeah, I'm starting to play some Assassin's Creed. I missed out on video games since I was younger. I started to focus on school more, and then I lost my geek touch.
Oh.
And so I need to get back into it.
No. Focus on school. That is great. Moms and dads, I'm here for you. The kids are focusing on school. And this is good.
But video games on the side.
Yes. You got to have some outlets, some creative outlets. Make sure that you use both halves of your brain. If that's even scientifically correct, I believe you're using all parts of your brain at all times.
Definitely, for sure.
So, okay, what areas of study do you like in school? What are your favorite courses?
My favorite course right now is AP Psychology.
Cool.
I thought about, bringing it to life, but
what do you like about it?
I've always been very interested in the brain and the mind. I was diagnosed with anxiety at a young age, so it's always been interesting to me to figure out how things work, how the brain works, and maybe help other people someday.
That sounds great. My first love when I first got into college my first major was psychology. I don't think I finished it, but I learned just enough to mess me up for the rest of my life. I analyze everything.
Oh, I feel that.
Why is he standing like that? Why are his arms crossed? Why is she looking at me like that? I don't know.
I do that anyway, so it's just
It sounds natural then. Perfect.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Any other extracurricular courses that you enjoy?
I love theater.
Oh.
And
perfect.
Yeah, I definitely want to learn more about makeup is one thing. So theater makeup and things like that.
Well, with the Rodin, are you still involved in that? Is that something that you do, or is that something that you were doing just for the day?
I was doing it just for the day, but it seems very interesting to me because it's not like a regular makeup. It's more like a skincare, and it helps clear up your acne and things like that. So
that's perfect for the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I had so much acne when I was growing up. I wish I would have had something like that, or somebody in my corner that would have helped me with my skincare. I think Pizza Face was one of the names. Yes.
Oh no, I feel that. I have a lot of acne too. It's okay.
But you have the Rodin, and you have other. Now, did you learn anything about skincare when you were in that booth?
Yeah, actually a lot. I learned the lady that was helping us helped me learn how to put on basically put on a primer and put on makeup properly. It was just kind of a side thing that she was helping me with. Because I was like, please teach me, because she was so beautiful and had such pretty makeup on. I was like, please help.
See, it was a great idea to have that. Miss Higgins did so
really
good in inviting these people.
Miss Higgins is so sweet, and she's a miracle worker.
Yes, I've gotten to speak to her many times. In fact, I've gotten her on the podcast just before a week before the CosCon. So she was talking about herself and the things that she does, and also the CosCon that was coming up, and I was so excited to be involved in that, and I look forward to next year already. Yeah. So, all right.
Me too.
I know. To get into the costume, it's not even me getting into the costumes. It's seeing all the people that put so much effort into their cosplay, and it does change your attitude when you go out there. It's theater. It does become theater. It becomes a little bit of a play when you go dressed up.
You're in your own little world. You're acting.
Yeah. So when you were dressed like Harley Quinn, and the kids came up to you, did you, kind of bug your eyes out a little bit and give them a big smile and, give them the full Harley Quinn?
Oh yeah, at first I was kind of iffy about it, but then at the sort of like middle to end of the con, I was very much, trying to put on the voice, Mr. J, and things like that.
I love it.
I was getting into it.
Fantastic, Miss Perot. I appreciate that. And okay, so without giving away what high school you're in, but what plays have you done, and what have you learned in drama?
Oh, well, last year we did a play called The King and I, and it was super fun. We got to play with a lot of makeup and things like that, so I was learning a lot.
Now, did you become one of the characters? Were you?
I was one of the wives, which he had many.
Yes, he did, and then Anna came in and ruined everything.
Yeah, don't you just love that?
Shall we dance? 1, 2, 3. Have you seen The King and I with Yul Brynner?
Yeah, we had to watch some of it in theater to learn like the proper parts, and we wanted to kind of emulate that because it was such a good take of it.
That was one of the things that I watched in English class. So tell me, I'm sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, yeah, we definitely watched it. We had clothes specially made for it. Our teacher was so into it.
Wow.
For the main characters, and Anna's dress alone cost almost $1,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we were very into it.
That's fantastic. That's a good teacher. I know it's expensive. Even cosplay can be expensive. Your costumes that are coming in. Yeah. Did you order? You ordered a Damian Wayne costume, and I'm guessing he ordered a Deku costume, or are these things that you're going to build yourselves? Well,
we ordered the wigs. Mainly, and then we're trying to figure out how to do the costumes on our own, and that's the thing. Another thing is that we're learning how to sew, which is a process.
Agreed. I see a lot of cosplayers, and and I follow a few on the Instagram, and I see their frustration, even if it's just in pictures, because Instagram, is mostly pictures, but I see their frustration. Sometimes they'll have just a spattering of glitter and glue and material just laid out, and then maybe a sewing machine knocked over in the corner, and they say 1 week to the con, and I'm so frustrated. This is something that could happen. Are you looking forward to this?
I mean, it's a labor. It looks like it's a labor of love, is what it seems like. And so, yeah, but also no.
Well, the theater, you were saying something about the costumes. I think the costumes really are their own character in themselves. You watch some movies, and if the costume is not right, that it takes you out of the movie. Like I've seen some cheap versions of the Avengers, for example, maybe from the 80s or 90s, and you go, no. And then the new Avengers,
they could have done better.
They pay so much attention to the costumes, and I know the actors have said, "Man, these costumes are so they're so uncomfortable." Or sometimes they'll say they're very comfortable, but they cannot get out of them or into them by themselves. But they're form fitting, and they pay attention to the detail, and the costumes just become a part of the movie itself. What do you think?
For sure. I watched a thing with Black Panther, and the actor that played him just was, he said he would have to meditate, and they would have to have a special pump that would go into the costume and pump ice water around his body because where they were filming was so hot. And he would have to meditate to keep calm from like freaking out from how tight the costume was on him and how form-fitting it was. And I heard another thing about an actor that was really afraid to rip the suit, so the costume department wouldn't have to work on it so hard.
Oh,
I know, but it's just a part of it. I think that it's amazing that they still went through with it and they powered through that.
That is sweet. That's sweet that this actor was thinking about the people that work around him, because they know, because in the theater it's not the actor, just the actor. If you have one actor, you may have 20 supporting people that are not even in the show that are just as important to making this product or this creation happen. So do you, in the theater, do you think you want to be in front on stage, or do you think you want to be behind the scenes, or both?
I want to be on stage. I definitely am very much like, I want to be in the spotlight, but also I'm really nervous about it. So it's a real mixed thing.
Isn't that hysterical? And I know that there are some actors there's some actors that don't give interviews because they are very private and very nervous, but yet they become the best actors. The one I'm thinking of, Daniel Day-Lewis, I don't think I've ever seen him in an interview, really, but he's supposedly one of the greatest actors. He puts himself into every role and becomes that person. And Meryl Streep, for that matter, I think she may have been on an interview or two, but for the most part, it seems like she stays to herself, and stays out of Hollywood when she's not acting. I could see that. I could see that where you could be a very shy person, but then shine when the camera's on or when the stage lights come on. Now, do you think you want to do stage, or do you think you want to be a movie star?
I think I want to try theater first, and then maybe get into film, because film seems definitely fun. But yeah.
There's a pretty big theater and film group here in Arkansas. I think I spoke to one person that's in it. Oh my goodness, I'll definitely have to find that for you and look it up, because why his night? Whenever I get into these podcasts, I become involved with the people that are in the podcast, so I kind of forget all the things that are around me. So I forget who was on the podcast, but there are a lot of actors in Arkansas, and there's a lot of movies that are made here in Arkansas. So certainly you can get involved with any of that. Starting if you have to go behind the scenes, I definitely learned that, and then to get a audition, or now. When you did The King and I, you were one of the wives. Was that something that had some lines that you had to memorize?
My one line was, "They're going to eat us."
Who? In what context?
One of the soldiers came in, and the English were coming for the first time. And everyone was nervous. They're getting ready to impress them and show them they're not savages and things like that. And they come in, and the wives freak out, and one of the first things they say is, "They're going to eat us," and then they just run off stage.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. And then when you got off stage, what did you do for the rest of the play?
Well, a lot of it was just sitting backstage, helping people that needed to retouch their makeup. Getting our makeup ready for the next scene, and just helping one another and getting things ready for the next scene, so we could do a quick change and all the things like that, because we had several quick changes to do, which were more complicated than they should have been. But yeah, everyone did amazing in that play. I have to give a shout out to everyone. They did really great.
That sounds like a fun experience, and
it really was.
Yeah, to learn something and to perform it. And this is a play that has become a classic play. Whenever it gets performed on stage, people just flock to it if it's done properly. And the movies that are made, I know there was a cartoon, Anna and the King. Did you get to watch any of that?
Yeah, I watched. We watched a movie that they had called Anna and the King. And it was a live action.
Oh, there was a live action of that.
Yeah, there was a live action, and I was very. It's just also cool. It was very fun to get immersed into that and get immersed into the lore of what it was like to live in those times and different things like that. And we did research, which is on modern day on like old time Thailand to make sure we got everything right, and we kind of made sure to portray what was going on with our characters.
That is so cool. It's nice, man. And you haven't done any plays this year?
We're doing 12 Angry Men.
Oh.
Which is a straight play, which we have a lot of younger kids doing it, which is super cool. Yeah. And then also on the end, at the end of the year, for our big play, we're going to do Into the Woods.
What's Into the Woods?
Well, Into the Woods is basically if you mix-match all the different fairy tales into like one big funny story.
Oh. And
it's funny, it's dramatic, it's kind of just crazy and everywhere. It's basically all musical, no vocals pretty much in it. So it's kind of not operatic, but you have to be very well trained in your lines.
Oh, that sounds great. The 12 Angry Men, that's another one that I guess that's 12 people in a room trying to decide someone's fate. Yes. For anyone that hasn't seen that. Now, do you find, well, I guess you haven't done a comedy or what kind of movies do you want to do or theater do you want to do? Classical or something new?
Well, I think I kind of want to go into the dramatics and then maybe branch out into comedy because comedy seems fun.
I get it. Okay. I like that. What is it? No, Schwarzenegger was an action star, and then all of a sudden he became a comedy star. How did that happen?
I know. It's just about getting comfortable and then, branching out your horizons.
Yeah. There's that box again. Get outside of it. So cool. All right. So you like psychology. What else do you like in school?
In school, I like writing. I'm in creative writing, which is really fun.
I imagine so, yeah. Do you think you can write your own plays, your own stories?
I hope so one day. That would be super fun.
That's cool. That's cool. I look forward to seeing Perot's stories coming up in the near future.
Yes, my manifestos, definitely.
Oh, no, I don't know if you could say manifesto anymore.
I don't know. I don't even know either. I don't know what I'm saying.
I like it. I like it, though. It's a nice big word, and somebody's going to be looking it up right now.
It works. It's fine.
Dig it. So, all right. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I want to be a journalist is definitely what I want to do.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe stream towards humanitarian journalism and things like that.
That's great. I mean, are you blogging at all, or is there anything that you've written down? Do you journal?
I do journal. I have my own little journal. I've done that since I was young. Like, I journal out my day, and I journal out different things that have happened. I've attempted to make a couple of YouTube accounts, but failed. But I'm thinking about doing it again.
They're fun, but they're very time-consuming sometimes. I have 3 different YouTube accounts. The RadioWhat.com one is usually the one that I put up the podcast, and then you'll find the podcast everywhere as well, and iHeartRadio and the Apple and such. Now, I wish I would have written things down when I was younger. There's plenty of audio of me doing through the years. I've been in radio for the longest time. So you'll find commercials out there that I've done and different audio tracks, but there's not a lot of written word. I'm not a very good writer. And I don't necessarily think I'm a very good speaker, but I like talking to people and I like learning.
I think you're an amazing speaker.
Well, I like learning things about people, and I'm learning from Miss Perot right now of the Perot and Clover, Perot and Clover cosplay team.
Yes.
So exciting. Well, I'm glad. I think I met up with you briefly. Really didn't get a chance to chit chat with you too much, but I'm so glad that I've chit chatted with you now. So coming up real soon. What do you know? What your next con is going to be?
We're trying for SpaCon.
SpaCon in
yes.
Hot Springs.
Yes.
When is that?
Let me look up the date real quick.
Yeah. I figure it's coming up real soon. It has to be.
It is. It's very soon. But yeah, it's this weekend or the next. I'm
Very
pretty
cool.
sure.
And do you think that you're going to be able to put those cosplays that you were thinking about into fruition?
Yes, we got all of our materials. We got everything laid out. Right now, we're trying to deal with weapons that little like toy weapons that we got from the store and buffing them up to make them look more, tough.
Yeah. Well, all right, Miss Perot, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast and giving me some insight into your thoughts about what you do in cosplay and theater for that matter. You got me all excited. I enjoy seeing a good performance and all the work that goes into it, particularly the costumes, which really it goes hand in hand with your cosplay, because theater, you are theater when you're doing your cosplay, and I agree wholeheartedly. You're amazing. That's fantastic. And Mr. Clover, I appreciate him as well. Anything else you want to tell the people?
I just want to thank you so much for having us and listening to our stories, because that was just really amazing when you approached us and let us do this. This is so fun. And your radio show is great.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, how do you want the people to get in contact with you or see what you do? Is it primarily the Instagram?
Yes, our Instagram right now. We're working on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And right now, that's all. Again, maybe YouTube in the future. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm sure all the information will be on your Instagram page.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Go ahead and spell out, what is the Instagram?
It is Pierrot Clover. So Pierrot is way too difficult to spell. It's PERRIOT _ and then _ Clover CLOVER _ cosplay. We really went ham on the underscores.
Yes. Underscores are very important there. And I'll make sure that I put that link on the show notes. Thank you, Miss Perot. I
Thank you so much.
and I look forward to following you in the future. And perhaps once you've gotten another step into the future, you'll come back and tell me more.
Yes, for sure. We'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Perot. I appreciate you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, party people. Perot Clover cosplay. I enjoyed talking to them so much. I'm so sad that Mr. Clover had to get off and go do some chores, but he's a good boy. That's good. He's taking care of his family. He's helping out with the chores. Yes, they're very young people, and I enjoyed chit-chatting with them. Thank you so much, Miss Perot, for keeping me in touch with the young people, letting me know about all the cosplay and the things that are going on. And yes, I even learned a little bit about manga, My Hero Academia, making me keep in touch with my own 13-year-old who's teaching me a little bit about that as well, and all things Japanese. I enjoy that so much. She's very smart. Perot Clover Cosplay. Follow them on Instagram. Their journey is just beginning. They just started cosplaying together. Friends, BFFs, friends forever. but just started cosplaying over at the CosCon not too long ago, and I'm looking forward to following them and finding out more about Perot Clover. Why am I stuttering so much? Perot Clover Cosplay on Instagram. Check it out. All right, that's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. If you want to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
Radio What? The music you want. Hey guys, this is Shelly G with a fast fact. The top-selling singles of all time are Elton John's Candle in the Wind, 33 million, Bing Crosby's White Christmas, 30 million, and Bill Haley's Rock Around the Clock, 25 million. Do you have a fast fact? Share it with us at Interactive Radio, radiowhat.com.
Follow Keys Dan on Facebook and Twitter. Click on the links at the top of keysdan.com. Follow Radio What on Facebook and Twitter. Click on the links at the top of radiowhat.com. The music you want is on.